Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another edition of Community Showcase. I'm your host, Lukman Shadrack. Now, we all know that the winter period, especially in the Western Cape, has been really severe, especially on the poorest of poor and homeless throughout South Africa. There are organizations that are doing amazing work to assist and to alleviate some of the atrocities that has happened due to the rain and the cold. One of those agencies is Africa Muslims Agency. We're at their office to find out about some of the great work that they do. With me is Brother Hilaal Davids. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Jazakallah so much for taking the time. I know that you're extremely busy. This is such an important time for your organization to provide the assistance in the Western Cape. But how do you identify the areas that you assist in? Is there a bit of a formula? Are there teams on the ground that assist?
Absolutely. So our main focus is to work with community organizations that are based in these locations, in the communities, madaris, masajids, schools, local schools as well. So they know who their communities are. They know the people on the ground that are in desperate need of assistance. So predominantly, we work with these organizations. As winter sets in, and Cape Town has been very cold. We've had a lot of rain over the last couple of weeks, and today and this week again we've got lots of rain forecast. So early on in the month we've met with most of these organizations. We've distributed over 4,000 winter packs and blankets to all of these organizations, making sure that it reaches those that really need those.
Look, it's a wide range that needs to be provided. But what is the immediate need when you've identified? Look, we're going into this particular town. What is the immediate need that you've identified? Well, how do you assist?
Well, with the cold weather, you've seen what it is like in Cape Town. It is severely cold. It's extremely cold. It's wet. We've had many areas flooded over the last couple of weeks. The need remains warmth, comfort, of course, blankets. Our winter packs provide that. But sometimes you say, it's just a blanket, it's just a jacket. It's more than that. Really, it is. Providing a blanket provides comfort, it provides dignity, it provides security to many of these people who would normally just sit in their shelters, freezing cold with absolutely no relief. Think of the children going to school in the mornings, might not have had a good night's rest because of the cold. A blanket, a beanie, socks, that kind of thing just provides them a little bit more comfort, dignity during the night. When they get to school in the mornings, they're a little bit more alert. They've slept, and now they can learn. And that's the important part for us.
We've watched some reports of snow on the mountains throughout Drakenstein as well. So obviously that cold front, goes through the entire Western Cape as well. When you approach certain communities outside of the Cape Town area, we're talking about, at least 50, 60 kilometers outside, it gets even colder as well. Do you work with community leaders? Do you work with municipalities in the area?
Mostly with community leaders. We reach out to them, or they will reach out to us and they'll say, look, we have the situation. Right now, this weekend, we are looking to go out to Worcester. There's 3 communities in Worcester that are really battling with cold weather. And this weekend, inshallah, we'll be going out to Worcester, and outside of Worcester is an area called Sand Hills, and the Doorns will be doing a distribution of blankets, winter packs, as well as hot meals to these communities, inshallah. So, it's essential that we work and reach out to community leaders. They know the need on the ground. We cannot be all over at the same time, and we work closely with them. And, there is a follow-up that we do with them as well. We want to ensure that it reaches those that really need. So in most instances, we will meet with them a week or two, or, a little bit later, and go and to see the impact of the contributions that have come from the public at large.
Right. You mentioned Worcester and the Doorns areas. Are there other areas in the Western Cape that you've identified?
Absolutely. So we, as far as in the Western Cape, we work in all areas. You know, from Mitchell's Plain to Ocean View to Manenberg, to you'd be surprised even in the city itself. You know, city and suburbs. Cape Town, there's people in need. So sometimes you think, you know, it's a city. It's suburbia. You know, we have people with homes, but then on the other side of that, you have a lot of older folk, you know, the pensioners that have really very, very little to make themselves comfortable. So we work with the homes as well. We work with frail care facilities, and we provide where they have a lack of resources, we provide them with essentials to assist them as well.
I think that's so important that you brought that up, because those are the most vulnerable people as well. You know, the little kiddos, but more our senior citizens at the same time. Do you get any assistance from, or do you partner with other organizations or municipalities that assist?
We partner with whomever is on the ground, that are doing the work, that knows where the needs are. And of course, the need is still really big. The need is huge. You've seen the floods. We've seen the constant rains. We've got, like I said earlier on, we've got rain forecast for the whole week and the weekend. And the need is huge. So our appeal is to the public. You know, our winter campaign needs your support. We cannot do this work without the public support. So please join us in serving humanity, serving people that are less privileged than us, that are in dire need of some dignity. And Warmth provides that as well.
You mentioned our public can assist. How can they assist? Do you have special packages? Can they just contribute and then it gets, designated to a certain project?
Absolutely. Visit, the public is welcome to visit our website, africanmuslimsagencies.co.za. All of our projects, all of our campaigns are listed on there, particularly our winter campaign right now. The need is huge. You know, again, also, feeding in these communities is huge. You know, people are cold, they are hungry. So visit our website, and you can contribute, whether it's 5 rand, whether it's 50 rand, whether it's 500 rand. It will make a difference. Don't ever consider that I only have a 5 rand. It's not going to make any difference. I promise you, a 5 rand or as little as 1 rand will make a difference.
Of course. You mentioned the Western Cape, but I would imagine your reach stretches throughout South Africa. Are there other projects happening in other parts of the country?
Yes, absolutely. So our winter campaign is nationwide. Okay, as far as we've responded to the floods in the Eastern Cape just a couple of weeks ago. Yes. It was quite severe. Our volunteers went out with blankets, with winter packs, with hot meals. In the Eastern Cape, we feed every day. Wow. 365 days a year, we feed every day. But particularly now with the floods that's happened in the Eastern Cape, we've gone to these affected communities with AfriSave, who's our partners in the Eastern Cape, to go and feed in these communities. And then also, of course, we provided blankets and winter packs to these communities.
The work that you do you often do a follow-up in a month or 2 months' time? Because, I would imagine it's a temporary assistance that you provide, but do you provide ongoing assistance?
Look, we reach all of these communities. We try and assist as much as we can. We do follow up. Most of the time, based on our resources, you can't go to every community and follow up with every community. So a lot of feedback, we do require feedback from these community organizations so that we can understand what the needs are. And, again, it depends on the public support. Our hand can only reach as far as it can stretch, right? Of course. But that's only possible by the public support. And this is where the public can come on board and assist us to ensure that we make a significant impact on the lives of these people.
Your work still continues abroad as well, in various other African countries and throughout Middle East as well. And those projects also need assistance.
Absolutely. Africa particularly, the need for clean drinking water is significant. Whilst we are blessed with all of the rain and sadly, people are affected by it, think of Africa where people don't have access to clean drinking water. Children, female children, have to walk for hours every day to go and get clean drinking water for their families, and they're unable then to go to school. So it impacts on their education as well.
100%. Give us those details very quickly. How do people log in? Where do people contact African Muslims agencies so that they can assist with some of your amazing work?
AfricaMuslimsAgency.co.za. All of our campaigns are listed. Please go and visit our website and contribute.
Wonderful. Brother Riyad, Jazakallah so much for affording us your time. It's always a pleasure speaking to you. Keep up the great work. I know that you work Monday to Sunday sometimes because the need is there. So we really, really appreciate all your efforts.
Alhamdulillah. Shukran to you and shukran to your viewers. Jazakallah.
Here we go. That is Brother Riyad Davids from Africa Muslims Agency chatting to us about some of the great work that they do. Do contribute where you can. The need is really, really great, especially in the Western Cape. Some parts of the Eastern Cape, we move right up to Mpumalanga as well, where we've seen the severe flooding, we've seen the severe cold, and how people have been left homeless and without. So do contribute where you can. For Community Showcase, I'm Luqman Shadrack. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Community Showcase. I'm your host, Luqman Shadrack. As we know, winter's upon us and some communities have been hit severely with the cold and wet conditions. There are organizations within our country that deliver great assistance for these communities. And another organization, Islamic Relief, does wonderful work in and around the Western Cape and the greater part of South Africa, and even some parts of the world as well. We now catch up with Regional Programs Coordinator, Lavona van Aarde. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for affording me your time. We do know the wet and cold conditions has really, really disrupted everyday life in the Western Cape and some parts of South Africa. Can you give us a brief description in terms of what is the need on the ground right now?
Well, the floods that took place last week and also this week and also the next 2 weeks to come, or even until August, I think we're having quite heavy rain at this point in time, and there's quite a lot of people that has been affected by the floods within the Cape Town region. And currently the needs that we have at this point in time is blankets, non-perishable foods, hygiene kits, baby packs, and everything that is warm for them, because many of those people, their houses are flooded. It's cold out there, and they need some warm things to keep them warm during the night, even during the day. Some of the people some of the areas, especially in our Khayelitsha areas, where has been flooded quite a lot, they have been placed into temporary shelters, and they are fed on a daily basis by many including Islamic Relief, the other organizations, as well as government is also pitching in, and to see how it is that we can assist those in need within this winter period.
The need is so great, and the Western Cape is large, but so is South Africa. How do you go about identifying which community to assist, and how do you network with those communities?
Currently, we are on a disaster management group with the city, and there is quite a lot of NGOs on this group as well. So it's a very much of a coordinated approach with government, with disaster management. So they'll do the assessments, and then on this group they will ask for assistance for all the NGOs that's on this group. But that doesn't stop Islamic Relief from going out there, because we have some of our community members where we do have lots of our projects that is within those areas, and when there is a need within those areas, they definitely will call us for us to be first responders to those affected by the floods.
Okay. The care packs that you deliver, I would imagine hygiene packs, blankets, clothing, things like that. Are these items that get sponsored? Are these items that you go out and, collectively purchase so that the assistance can be provided?
There is some of the items that we do procure, with our various service providers that we do have. But Islamic Relief South Africa has got a wide range of donors, and so we call upon these donors as well when there is a need for them. One of them specifically is our F&B, where they will also pitch in when we do have especially emergency response, huge disasters, that especially with the one that is happening at this point in time. So they do pitch in, we do send proposals to them, and then of course the public. The public of the Cape Town region and the Western Cape as well. They will then also come and bring donations, especially because we do also do hot meals for, especially when they are housed in temporary shelter. We do hot meals for them as well. So the non-perishables, the meat, the soup ingredients, our Cape Town people are very, very good in, responding in times like this.
Brilliant. It's so nice to know because, this is a severe winter. We've just seen the snowfall on the mountains in the Overberg, which means that cold front is now passing through the greater part of the Western Cape as well. So the assistance is dire. It's necessary right now. What are some of your teams on the ground? What are they currently assisting in, and which areas in the Western Cape are they assisting?
Okay, we do have partnerships within our Eastern Cape areas where they're also assisting, and as we know, the flooding has been quite heavy in the Eastern Cape as well. And then we also have in our KwaZulu-Natal, Johannesburg area, where we also have satellite offices where they are assisting, also working very closely with disaster management within those areas. And they are on the ground assisting, and not even, sometimes we think it's only when it's floods that we have to be out there, but it's very, very cold at this point in time. So what we do is that we will have a winter drive with our fund development department, and also with our volunteer base, because we do have a very strong volunteer base within Islamic Relief. And so they will go out and they will also look for beanies, for caps, for jackets and stuff, just to have that winter drive. So this is normally also what we do. It's not only when it comes to flooding, that in winter period, and also there's a lot of fires in the winter period as well, because people want to keep themselves warm. And we actually have spoken to some of the donors to see, what else can we do? Just only not just look at the norm in beanies, caps, and socks and those kind of things. But what else can we do? Like a heater or something. Something that is not going to be too much of a hazard. But it's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing discussion between ourselves to see, how can we assist our people in need, especially now in the cold period.
Absolutely. Your teams on the ground, are they, permanently employed? Do you have volunteers that assist from those communities as well?
Yes, we do. We have volunteers in all the communities across South Africa, and we also have a volunteer management coordinator that coordinates the volunteers from a national base. And then also with the national person, we also have the regional coordinators. So in each of our regions, our 9 provinces across South Africa, we do have a huge volunteer base. But when they do go out in the area, the staff is always with them, just to coordinate efforts. So the staff is also with them just to see that everything goes smooth and well. But, at this, we also need to make mention of our volunteers. We would not be able to do any of this because they are our extra arms, our extra hands and legs. So we really can't do it without them. So we do rely heavily on our volunteer base. So when we do have these major incidences, then they are there to assist us on the ground.
Of course. You mentioned working with local municipalities as well. Do you work with organizations within those communities or corporate that sometimes come on board and assist?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like I've mentioned, the F&B, which is corporate, they have a very close relationship with them. And we also do work closely with, as I said, with government. We work with most of our NGOs within the Cape Town region, as well across South Africa. And we also do belong to our community forums, not only as staff, but also as volunteers who's representing Islamic Relief South Africa. So we belong to these various forums in community, so that we just have, because they are our ears. They're on the ground. They know exactly what is happening. And also our community leaders, we have regular meetings, just touch base with our community leaders, just to know, what is happening, what do you need, because there's many times as maybe as staff, we think this is what the people need, or as an organization. But when you do speak to our community leaders, you do speak to the community, they will tell you exactly what it is that they need at this point in time. So yes, we do. We have lots of relation with community leaders, street leaders, and then also NGOs and government, corporates, all of them out there. Yeah.
So a lot of our communities sometimes clean out their cupboards in winter and, get rid of certain stuff. I mean, are you open to receiving items like that? Is it cash donations? How can our community assist?
Most definitely. I think they can do both. If it's cash donation, more than welcome to do that. We do have our fund development department, also our communications department. You can do it online, or you can do the physical cash, or you can put it into our banking account. And then also we do have our in-kind donation department, logistics and warehousing, and they can bring their bags of clothing. And with that, I also would like to mention that if we do bring clothing, to Islamic Relief South Africa, we need to look at people's dignity. Not to bring clothes that is broken, but if it's not good for me to wear, so why would I give it to someone else? So yes, but I can safely say that 90% of the clothing that we receive is in very, very good condition. So if there's any drop-off, they would like to drop off any donations, they can most definitely do it at our office here in Cape Town.
Okay. Alternatively, how could we find you on the internet, or how can people contribute?
Well,
it's the Islamic Relief website, I would imagine.
They go to our website, and they can just call the office, and they can ask, they can speak to anyone. Our front desk, they are more than capable and able to assist in any information that is needed, because they're well clued up as to what is happening here.
Brilliant. Livona, all the very best for the winter period. I know it's a busy time, and may all your future projects go from strength to strength.
Thank you so much, and thank you for giving this the opportunity, just to put the news out there and to
help where we can.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And there we go. That's Islamic Relief chatting to us about the great work that they do during the winter period. If you can contribute in any way, not just to Islamic Relief, but other organizations that are out there that are contributing and alleviating some of the wet and cold conditions right here in the Western Cape and the greater part of South Africa. For Community Showcase, I'm Luqman Shadrack.